Hey guys, what is up? RedPandaMining here. How are you guys all doing? I hope you're all having a great day. Today guys, in this video, I want to talk about FPGAs and certain coins and basically what happened after their hard forks, such as, the Monero hard fork that happened on March 9th or 10th, and as well with Vertcoin that happened on February 2nd or so, and also how FPGAs are affecting Ravencoin right now. So I'm not going to talk about whether or not I like or hate FPGAs. In my opinion, FPGAs are going to probably, how do I say it, become more consumer friendly in the next year or so. Because right now, for the average consumer, average miner even can't even program these, or can't even set them up, and the heat and all that kind of stuff has to be dealt with properly, or else these cards are gonna melt. Anyways, I'm gonna start off by showing you guys Zetheron technology. This is a website. It's called Zetheron.com. These guys basically create bit streams and release them to the public only if you have FPGA cards mining 0x Bitcoin. You have to show that you're able to mine 0x Bitcoin with your FPGA. So it says here, RB1 to RB4 refer to registered bit streams 1 to 4 which are available to everyone. You only need to send a short video of your FPGA cards mining 0 Bitcoin to receive the registered bit streams. So here you go. RB1, RB2, RB3, RB4. Now you guys can see, there's Lyra 2Z, 60 mega hash, about $2 a day. Or let's see, Nexus, $6.87 at 2.4 gigahash. That depends if you have a VCU 1525, BCU, or TPS 1525, or whatever these other ones here. CVP 13 from Bitware. You guys probably seen the technicals get on that. Now, the big noticeable one that I saw on this list was Ravencoin, X16R algorithm. This was put on December 24th at 1:30 p.m. and it said 325 mega hash. So you're at that hash rate, you would make about $9.79 a day. But we don't, as GPU miners, we shouldn't really care about the profitability. We should just care about hash rate versus wattage, efficiency, that kind of stuff. So I'm going to assume that the wattage is going to be pretty low, but like below 500 watts for 325 mega hash. Like on a GTX, let's go here, GTX 1070 Ti, for instance, 18 mega hash, 130 watts, 130 watts. And Ravencoin, it says here 66 cents profitability, or 35 cents after 10 cents per kilowatt hour. It's not going to stack up against FPGA. The FPGAs are just super strong. And guys, I think this is just the reality that we're going to be seeing in the next coming years, that FPGAs are going to be dominating the market. But another thing that may kind of hinder that is that these bitstream developers are keeping it to themselves, and that's why you don't see YouTube videos of people, showing the X16R hash rate 325 mega hash on a BCU 1525. Like, nobody has that information. Nothing like that is out right now, and it's all kept. It's a very enclosed community, and the people that are able to work on this kind of stuff and install these things, I guess they're profiting, and they're trying to keep it a very enclosed community. Not very many people are getting into FPGAs because of its difficulty to set up and stuff. Okay, so next up now, I want to show you, basically what the hash rates have done after what the hard forks have done after certain coins. So Monero, for example, it was dominated by ASICs. We all know that, and it dropped from about, I'm gonna say, 950 mega hash all the way down to about 270, 250 mega hash to 300 mega hash where it is now. 300 mega hash on the new algorithm Kryptonite R. So I believe this deterred a bunch of the hash rate from the ASICs. So all those ASICs are rendered useless now. Well, I mean, they can mine the other Kryptonite V8 coins, whatever they are. I don't really know them, but the profitability for Monero is now back on track. For example, if we search up RX64 Vega 64, calculate at 10 cents a kilowatt hour, you can see you'd make 23 cents. But without if you didn't factor in the power, you would make about 87 cents a day. So Kryptonite R for the Vega cards is the most profitable right now. Now that's if you want to get the most out of your card and exchange into fiat and all that kind of stuff. So that's that. So successfully, Monero has hard forked from that. Is there an FPGA for the Kryptonite R algorithm? I don't know. I haven't seen anything from that. I haven't seen any hash rate from that at all. I've searched up on FPGA.guide, and there's no Kryptonite algorithm for that. So that one's safe. So Monero's been doing pretty good after their hard fork. Now, the next coin I want to take a look at is Vertcoin. Vertcoin had, I would say, a successful hard fork. There were definitely ASICs and a lot of, I would say, FPGAs on mining on the Vertcoin network. And February 2nd or so, they had their hard fork and they switched from Lyra 2 Rev 2 to Lyra 2 Rev 3. Basically what changed was the 3 at the end. So the algorithm changed. And you can see here from February 2nd, it dropped all the way down to about 13. It was jumping around from 7 gigahash, and then it was at 70 to 65 gigahash. And then it dropped back down to 6 or 5 gigahash. And boom, you can see after February 2nd to February 18th, so about 2 weeks and a bit, then the hash rate just jumped up considerably from 18 gigahash to 880 gigahash. And that was about 2.5 weeks later. Now, I want to show you guys the BlackMiner F1. You guys have all heard this. The Technicals made a video about it, and there's been some other people covering the hash altcoin FPGA BlackMiner F1. And they also have the BlackMiner F1 Plus and I think the F1 Mini as well somewhere. So with this guy, this is the FPGA, and you can see here there's different algorithms that you can mine on this thing, from Bitcoin Diamond, Amovio, Versus 2, Kekak, BCX, Nexus, Tribus, Phi2, Lyra 2Z, and a notable one here that I want to mention is the Lyra 2 Rev 3. So here, this BlackMiner F1 can get 240 megahash at 364 watts. Now, looking at the Vertcoin hash rate, if the BlackMiner F1, which came out, I believe, November, December, and there have been new ones since then. I'm not sure how many of these they would need in order for that to get on the network. But in my opinion, I would say some of these BlackMiners are on the Vertcoin network. Now, I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure. I don't have one myself. I haven't seen any videos or evidence of anybody mining Vertcoin on a BlackMiner F1. So take that as you will. That's just something I want to make aware of, guys. I want to make aware of to you guys that you got to make sure when you're mining a certain coin that there's probably going to be something on it, like an FPGA. And doing my research, doing this kind of stuff, it makes me realize, you know, this part of the ecosystem that we are in, it's growing so fast. It's growing unbelievably fast. The mining stuff, the mining ecosystem is just, there's so many different things out there that we don't know, that we don't see. And I mean, yeah, we can find this kind of stuff online. The information's there. But do a lot of you research this kind of stuff? Like, I know I would say most of us wouldn't care, right? We wouldn't care. We're like, most of us are GPU miners, right? But for me, I like researching this stuff, and I want to make this stuff aware for you guys, because in the next year or two, FPGAs could dominate the whole market. We don't know. It's just something I'm seeing recently. And even though FPGAs are kind of like an enclosed community, Bitstream developers don't want to make things public, you know, that kind of stuff for the for the profitable algorithms, profitable bit streams. You know, like, it's just that kind of thing. Like, when is that breaking point where the bit streams and all that kind of stuff are going to be made public, and the profitability is just going to be extraordinarily high? You know, these guys, people who are getting into the FPGA market right now, I would say are definitely profiting off their how would you say, they're early getting into it early, and that kind of thing. So you can see how power efficient these FPGAs are. This is literally a mining rig. Literally a mining rig. But the hash rate can be from 2 to 10 times faster than a regular mining rig that we have. So just another thing, guys, I'm going to show you is that I wanted to show you, sorry this video is getting long, but I wanted to show you the hash rates on the pools. So Vertcoin, for example, you can see that F2 pool, China, and then Germany has 41% of the hash rate. 41% of the hash rate for Vertcoin, and F2 pool, which is a Chinese pool, has 39.5%. Now, I'm going to assume that the FPGAs, everything, they're all made in China, obviously. And again, I said this in another video previously. Anything to do with Chinese or China pools with large hash rates, that will have a lot of big farms, big Chinese farms, and I don't like that. I honestly don't like that. China, obviously, they're the ones who have all that equipment and make that equipment. These are probably the manufacturers who are using it and mining these right now. Black Miner F1s, FPGAs, BCU 1525, all those kind of stuff, they're made in China. And again, I'm looking at Ravencoin, right? Ravencoin, guys. Look at that. Number 3 and 2, F2 pool and B pool. I like how Germany is number 1, but I'm going to say that China is probably also putting a lot of hash rate to the German pool. I thought Supernova was a Chinese pool, but I didn't do that research yet. So, but I'm skeptical, and the same thing with Ravencoin, FPGAs, as I showed you guys earlier on the Zetheron website. BCUs, VCU 1525s, Bitware's CVP 13. You can mine X16R on them. The CVP 13, 500 megahash on Ravencoin. 500 megahash. A GTX 1080 Ti, for example, gets 29 megahash on Ravencoin, and that's like $1 a day. So how many of these CVP 13s or BCU 1525s are running in China right now, guys? I'd like to know. I'd like to know. Look at this. 2 pools heavily on Ravencoin right now and Vertcoin. Now, I wanted to show the Monero one. Let me show that real quick. So before, China was the dominating pools for Monero. Now, look at this. We got Nanopool, supportxmr.com, and a France mining pool, minexmr.com, as the top 3 pools for Monero. So those Chinese ASICs are done. They're all on something else. And you can see the hash rate is not that high anymore. So before, though, I remember seeing the Monero hash rates being China dominated. But as I showed you guys before, Ravencoin is being dominated right now by China, and as well as Vertcoin, in my opinion. So yeah, guys, this site here, FPGA.guide, it seems to be pretty helpful if you are trying to get into FPGA mining right now. And I just found about this. I just found this website today, and I looked at it, and I see a lot of information here and a lot of free Bitstream downloads. I'm not sure whether or not these are profitable, but I think so. So if you have a BCU 1525 or CVP 13, you can download some Bitstreams for them right now, which seems pretty cool. And the last thing I want to talk about, guys, is Squirrel Miner. Squirrel Miner has also some Bitstreams for their Acorns and their BCU specific 1525, their Squirrel Miner branded one, as well as their Acorns CLE 215 and 215 Plus. Now, this is the only one I can see for Zen protocol. Now, they haven't released their Squirrel Miner. Squirrel has not released Squirrel Miner yet, and I have spoken about this and made videos about this before. Now, I have a insider little thing here that I got sent by somebody in an email. They said this is what the Squirrel support or Squirrel developers have said. The GPU assist is still not available due to a legal IP dispute. We cannot provide more information than this at the moment, but we wouldn't offer this if we didn't think we could deliver the promised software. At the moment, there are standalone bitstreams for Acorns available to provide some use, with more standalone algorithms coming as they're developed. Due to some legal dispute. So I don't know what to say. I have no comment for the Squirrel Miner software. I have the utmost sorrow, and I feel sorry for all those who have bought the Acorns. Squirrel better, in my opinion, better do something to repay these people that have bought Acorns. And it's just not fair, in my opinion, that they talked about releasing a software back in June of 2018, and now it's going to be midway 2019 soon. I mean, almost a year that the Squirrel Miner hasn't been released yet. And a lot of people who have been holding on to these Squirrel Miners, some of them don't know how to use it, and it's not working, and freezing and blowing up and melting, that kind of stuff that I've heard. People, obviously some people are not vocal about it because they bought it and they're just waiting for the miner to come out. But in my community, I've had some people come up to me and say, "Man, where's the Squirrel Miner? I'm still waiting for it." And people are claiming Squirrel's a scam and whatnot, and all this kind of waiting is just building up this negative atmosphere, this negative feeling that's really bad for the space. And it's bigger than me. This is all bigger than me. I can't point the blame to somebody or some company. Squirrel Miner, I'm sure they're doing all they can, but This is it's like crypto mining ICOs, and like in a term of my ICO, but in a hardware aspect. And then it turned out to be a scam, or just the company bankrupt or exit scammed, all that stuff later. Anyways, guys, I rambled on a lot. I know this is a long video, but please let me know what you guys think. I do this research. I love researching this kind of stuff. And if you guys have seen this before, some of you, please let me know. If you haven't and you learned something, please let me know. I appreciate that. So anyways, guys, smash that like button, guys. And I appreciate all of you again. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.